First met Luis El Toro Castillo in a dimly lit boxing gym tucked between a butcher shop and a car repair garage in Mexico City's Colonia Doctores. The air smelled of sweat, leather, and the faint metallic tang of blood. It was the kind of place where dreams were forged the hard way, on cracked concrete floors, and under the flickering light of bare bulbs. Luis was barely 20 when he first walked into the gym, skinny but wiry, with a scar above his eyebrow that suggested he had already seen his share of fights, though not in a ring. His mother had sent him from Guadalajara to live with an uncle in the city after he got into one too many street brawls. She hoped boxing would discipline him, but Luis had other ideas. "I want to be a champion," he told anyone who would listen. At first, nobody paid attention. In this gym, words meant nothing. You proved yourself with your fists. Luis trained like a madman, hitting the bag with a ferocity that made the older fighters nod in approval. But talent wasn't enough here. This gym belonged to survivors, and Luis would soon learn that lesson the hard way. His first official fight was in a rundown arena in Tepito, known more for its black market goods than its sportsmanship. The crowd was ruthless, and so was his opponent, seasoned fighter named Javier La Bestia Moreno. Luis started strong, footwork quick, his punches sharp, but La Bestia was patient. He let Luis tire himself out before delivering a brutal uppercut that sent him sprawling. Luis lost by knockout in the third round. The loss shook him. For days, he didn't come to the gym. Some said he had given up, that he wasn't built for this life. But one night, just as I was locking up, he walked in. His lip was still split from the fight, but his eyes burned with something new. "I'm not quitting," he said simply. From that day on, he trained harder than ever. He studied his mistakes, rewound old fight tapes until he memorized them. He ran before sunrise, shadowboxed until his arms felt like lead. He fought in underground matches for pesos, taking beatings and learning how to take hits without breaking. The gym became his home, the ring his proving ground. He won some, lost more. Each defeat was a lesson, each bruise a reminder, and then, finally, a breakthrough. 2 years after his humiliating loss to La Bestia, Luis was scheduled for a rematch. This time, he was smarter. He didn't rush in. He let La Bestia come to him. He absorbed the punishment, conserved his energy, and in the 7th round, when the opportunity presented itself, he landed a devastating right hook that sent La Bestia crashing to the canvas. The gym erupted in celebration. That night, Luis wasn't just a fighter. He was proof that resilience mattered more than raw talent. He was living proof that you could fall, stumble, even lose, so long as you never stopped getting back up. Years later, when Luis finally won his first championship belt, he held it high above his head and said, "This isn't mine alone. This belongs to every kid who's ever been told he's not good enough. Keep fighting, always."